This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Time to talk a little Miami Dolphins football with my man, Alain Poupart, in our Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report. So what's your depth chart say right now? What are you looking at? Because I'll give you some names. I got Isaiah Spiller,
I have that one too.
Tyler Algier, the BYU kid, Leo Chanel, Channing Tindall, Darian Beavers, a couple of guys that I like here at 102. How about you? What are the guys you like at this spot right now?
I like Channing Tindall, and the Dolphins like him enough that they brought him in for a top 30 visit. And they certainly could use an inside linebacker, so that makes sense in a lot of different ways. I'm very intrigued by Tariq Woolen, a cornerback from UTSA, who's got this freakish combination of size. He's like 6'4", and he ran like the 4.43 or 4.28 something at the combine twice, not once, twice. Kind of raw, which is why he hasn't been picked otherwise with his combination of size and speed. He'd have been long gone. So he's somebody who's intriguing to me. Isaiah Spiller, you mentioned, is another one I certainly would look at. I think those are the three guys. I think if I were to zone in on somebody right now, would be three guys I'd look at.
You got anything for me on Brandon Smith, the inside linebacker from Penn State?
Yep, another good one.
Okay.
Another possibility. And again, I don't think at this stage you force an offensive lineman. I know for some it's the popular pick, but I don't know that you necessarily force somebody because you got a lot of young guys, as we've talked about many times before. Now, had somebody slid all the way to this 102 spot, sure, maybe, but again, you pick that far down, you're gonna choose what you can get.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. It's just now I've been saying this all night. I kind of get the feeling they're going to trade down because at 102, you're at the end of the third round. And these kind of dudes, these GMs, and especially a Wheeler and a dealer like Chris Greer, if they're looking at each other going, well, wait a minute, man, this guy will be available 10 picks from now, 12. These guys want to give us two middle round, a fifth and a fourth to move up. Then let's do it. Let's have 2 4s, a 5, and 2 7s tomorrow, and we've got more picks. I can see them doing that because when you're at the back end of a round, those are the things you have to weigh as the board clears out and comes to you.
Yeah, and not only that, you're looking at a team that's only got 4 picks coming in.
Right.
And then the difference between 102 and 110 certainly isn't the same as 3 and 11 or 19 and 27. So This is where in this particular case, the difference in quality is not that significant where you wouldn't want to pick up more picks. And Dolphins have never had as few as 4 picks. The lowest they've ever had is 5. And it was probably not a coincidence with that 1 year when they traded Ricky Williams and they didn't have a 1 and a 2. Also.
Right.
So,
right.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I absolutely could see it. It would be much of the chagrin of all the Dolphin writers, I can assure you, because now it's 2 days where we're like, okay.
No, I know, but it does give you something to write about because now, you know what I mean? Because one, you'll write about the trade, and then two, the after effects of the trade, and knowing this guy, this is what he does all the time. So that's why this would be so Chris Greer to trade out of the back end of the third round here.
It makes a lot of sense. And Baltimore, I haven't kept up quite thoroughly on what they've done in the second round so far, but I know, or in the third round as well, they came into today's schedule to have 6 fourth-round picks. So that's a team I would talk to, and I easily could see them, give me 2 of your 4s for 102.
Oh, yeah. They have number 5, number 14, number 23, number 25, number 34, and number 36.
Yeah.
That's you're right. I mean, they are the king of compensation, bro. They're compensatory. This has been something that it's been going on since the Newsom era, and obviously they've been able to continue it since Newsom retired. but he was a master at always having extra compensatory picks, and that's a beautiful cycle because that means you're drafting really well, and you're drafting so well you're not able to keep everybody, which we know that's normally the case when you do draft well, but at least you have those compensatory picks coming back on the backside.
Yeah, and it's not a coincidence that the Ravens practically every year are in contention, and they would have been last year if it wasn't for the fact that 3/4 of their team was injured.
Oh yeah, they suffered. You're right. They were marvelous last year considering all the injuries.
Brutal.
Even though I'm not necessarily a Lamar Jackson believer, and apparently neither is Hollywood Brown, by the way. But overall, yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah, they were amazing to overcome all the injuries. Harbaugh's a hell of a coach, bro.
Oh, big time. Hollywood Brown wasn't a fan of the offense that kind of.
That's what I'm saying. Well,
but I
that's
think
what he is.
yeah, but if I'm Hollywood Brown, I think I'd probably focus more on not dropping a pass every other week, as opposed to how many catches he makes. So
He's a receiver. He's a diva.
I thought Baltimore did very well to get a first round pick out of that. And again, they wind up with guys. I mean, best safety in the draft, best center in the draft. And then they had another pick earlier tonight that was, I mean, holy crap. And I can't remember what it was. And then they picked up Jones in the 4th round, who was one of the better interior defensive linemen, a kid from UConn. So they just, again, there's a reason why they're good every year.
No, yeah, they're an excellent organization. Nobody would ever, only an idiot would argue with you. Say they're actually not. All right, you look at what's gone on so far. Are you going in it where the Dolphins have a big time hole they've got to fill in this draft? Is that the way you're looking at it?
No, and it's a credit to what they've done. And I'm not buying. I know people might want to say center is a big hole. I think the Dolphins are pretty confident Michael Dieter can do a good job. And
I would go the other way also. I would say we still don't know enough about Dieter to make a call on the guy. And now with these coaches, I think this is where we can finally determine what kind of a player is he. Is he a starter? Is he a backup? Is he a center? Is he a guard or something like that? I think with this coaching staff, we can finally kind of like put it to bed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but even in the games he played last year, he played 8 games. I didn't notice him like being completely horrible. And whenever there were like massive breakdowns on that offensive line, and we know there were
I agree.
quite a few. Right. I didn't notice him like being horrible. So I think he can get the job done.
You're right, because we saw Austin Jackson be horrible. We saw Liam Eichenberg at times be horrible. We saw Jesse Davis be
Correct.
horrible.
Correct.
But Hunt and Dieter were not horrible. You're right. Correct. You're right about that.
And the 2 backup centers who came in after Dieter got hurt had their moments. I know Austin Reiter had like a game where it was really rough. And Greg Mans, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't like anything special. So I mean, Dolphins don't have like A-grade players at every position, but they also don't have anything that you would call a glaring hole, which is also part of why they could afford to make that trade with Tyreek Hill, where it wasn't like for example, the Jets weren't a team coming in that could afford to give away a bunch of draft picks for one guy because they had a lot of needs. And to their credit, they've done a pretty good job of hitting on picks to fill those needs.
By the way, I had Dan Leberfeld on, and you know Dan.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it, bro, but the Jets have kicked ass.
Big time.
Like, I hate to say it, but they have royally kicked ass. Like, holy shit, like, damn.
Yep.
They got that first round was beastly, bro.
Big time. Jets and Baltimore to me are the 2 that stand out.
Yeah, but I expect it from Baltimore. You know,
correct.
I'm not surprised that Baltimore did well in anything. You know what I'm saying? It's just a great organization. But the Jets is like, not that I feel like they're a threat to the Dolphins or anything like that. I still think they're the worst team in the division. But I gotta be objective here, and I gotta give them, the credit overall. All right, what's the strangest pick for you in the draft?
Oh, you kind of set me up right there. Thank you. Thanks. I mean, yeah, that one was weird. It was strange, yes. And ironically, that's the pick that the Dolphins sent to KC in the first round in the Tyreek Hill trade. No, did you see the Sean McVay reaction? Holy shit.
That was awesome. That was hilarious.
Yeah, like, wow, talk about Talk about
when you win the Super Bowl, you can take a shot or two, and
well, man, wow! I think in retrospect, he's going to look back and say, "Yeah, I really want to make light of that like that." I mean, it was priceless, but man, that was a massive shot.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about these kind of moments, because I get tied to those kind of moments at times. It's what we're all thinking, yet nobody has the balls to say it, and yet there you go. Somebody had the balls to actually say it, like, because I have notes here, and that kid's a third rounder in the notes I have.
No, correct.
Actually, I heard about him, but it was a third rounder, not a first rounder, not even a second rounder.
Maybe late second.
Yeah, right. I can see that, but man, it was like a conviction that he was going to be a third round. Now, listen, more material for that kid, right? Apparently, so the world is doubting him, so he's got plenty of motivation right now.
But it just goes in line to, I mean, what a weird offseason New England's had. I mean, last year they spent all this money, got a whole bunch of players. This year, it's guys leaving. Their biggest veteran acquisition is Jabril Peppers. And then they traded Shaq Mason for a 5th-round pick, and you replace him with Cole Strange. I mean, holy! And then in the second round, they picked Tyquan Thornton, who can fly, but who's like really raw, who's really, really skinny. And people are looking at him like, yeah, 3rd, 4th round. And again, they like, are we like back to Bill Belichick trying to prove he's smarter than everybody else? I mean,
well, that's why this whole Brady thing is a blessing and a curse for him, unfortunately, because it's exposing him at the moment, and maybe it's not really as an exposure. Maybe he's losing his fastball. Maybe he is the GOAT, but all GOATs, even the GOATs, get a little old. Even the GOATs lose a little bit of their luster, of their fastball, of what made them what they are. Maybe that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because he always pushed the right buttons around Brady. Now it just doesn't seem like he's able to push the right buttons.
But it's been a while where he's had issues with drafting.
Right.
That's been probably, especially if we talk about, and then Thornton again. If we talk about the wide receiver position, man, his track record in recent years is putrid.
Maybe the worst in the NFL. He might be the Michael Jordan of drafting wide receivers in the NFL. Because Michael Jordan obviously is the worst general manager.
Oh, okay. Now I got you.
Oh yeah, no, Michael Jordan is as bad a general manager as he was, as great as he was a player.
Correct.
Seriously, he is an embarrassment. He is the greatest ever to play, and he is one of the biggest embarrassments I've ever seen as a general. He's a kind of guy that would have been fired already like 8 times.
Yep.
Nobody would keep that job the way he does it. Nobody.
Belichick's reputation as a coach, I think, is well deserved. But as a GM or as a personnel guy, not so much, especially lately. We're coming up, or I think we're like 2 picks away.
We're 2 picks away, bro. All right, you do your thing, bro, because that way you can tweet and write and all that good stuff. Appreciate you as always. What are you working on the Sports Illustrated so folks can check you out?
Oh, I mean, I did 3 things looking back at the first round already today, and then waiting for what happens at 102. If they trade back or if they make a pick, and we'll dissect it.
Okay. I love it. All right, my brother. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Sounds good. You be good.
You got it, baby. Be good. There you go. The great Alain Poupart and our Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the